Welcome to another Smash Jam series, and today we'll be smashing the topic change of subject or formula in JAM Mathematics. Now, let's go straight to business. Okay, straight to business. This is the first question we're going to solve. Now, of course, when you make something the subject formula, you're trying to make it stay alone, all right? Trying to make it stay alone without anything being by its side. So now, if gt squared minus k minus w is equal to 0, make g the subject of formula. Now we are giving the options. Now I want to make G the subject formula, which we want to make G the boss. All right, we want to make it stand alone while every other one are on the other side. Now, how do we do that? Now this is GT squared minus K minus W is equal to 0. Your target is G. All right. So take away everything that is obstructing you from finding G. So what is the first thing here, or the two, before we deal with this, you can see minus K, you can see minus W. They are the two things that are obstructing G from standing alone for now. Take minus K to this side and take minus W to this side. They become plus. So what happens is that this becomes GT squared is equal to, take K to this side, minus K to this side comes plus, take minus W to this side comes plus W. All right. Now, the last thing that is obstructing G from standing alone now is this T squared. Is this T squared? So what I'm going to do, we're going to divide both sides by T squared. So that becomes GT squared over T squared is equal to K plus W over T squared. Now, T squared takes away T squared. Now, you're going to be left with G is equal to what? K plus W over T squared. So this will be our subject of formula. So G is equal to K plus W over T squared. Now, which options is that? Okay, option A. So option A is our correct answer. On to the next question. Make R the subject of formula given that X over R plus A is equal to A over R. Now, what can we do here? You have X over R plus A is equal to A over R, and you want to make R the subject of formula, meaning you want to make R the boss. So what can we do here? One of the best things we can do here is to cross multiply. All right. One of the best things we can do here is to cross multiply. So we'll cross multiply. So you have X over R plus A is equal to A over R. So what can you do? Cross multiply. What does cross multiply mean? Multiply this to this and multiply this to this. So it becomes X times R becomes Rx is equal to A times R plus A. So A multiplies the whole of R plus A. So you have Rx is equal to A times R gives us AR plus A times A gives us A squared. All right. Now, in this case, we're going to use the method of factorization. After cross multiplication, we're going to use factorization because you might be like, how is there RA and RA and you want me to make R a subject of formula? Yes, it's possible because there's a technique called factorization. That's bringing out what is common. Now, so let's take everything that has R to one side, all right? So taking everything that has R to one side, this becomes Rx was already here. Take AR to this side becomes minus AR is equal to A squared. Leave it there, all right? You don't need it because it does not have R. Now you notice that R is common between this and this. So take that your R out. We just factorized. Now what's going to remain? X minus A is equal to A squared. Now divide both sides by R. Did I just say divide both sides by R? No. You want to make R a separate formula. You divide both sides by X minus A. So we divide both sides by X minus A because you want to make R the separate formula. So divide both sides by X minus A. So it becomes what? R into X minus A over X minus A is equal to A squared over X minus A. All right. Now, so what I'm going to be left with, you see that X minus A takes away X minus A. So you're left with R. So you're going to have R is equal to what? A squared over X minus A. All right. R squared is equal to A squared over X minus A. Now, which of these has that in our answer? Okay, option A. So option A is the correct answer. So making R the subject of formula here, you have R is equal to A squared over. If P is equal to square root of R s to the power of 3 over T, express R in terms of Q S and T. That means you have to make R a subset formula from this. Now, this is P is equal to square root of RS to the power of 3 over 2 over T. Now, your R you want to make the subset of formula is inside here and under a cap. Take this square root like a cap. You must take away that cap before you can be able to deal with R and make it the subset of formula. So this is square root. How do we take this square root of RS to the power of 3 over T? We can take the square of both sides. So when you take the square of both sides, it becomes, you have P is equal to square root of RS to the power of 3 over T. So you take the square of both sides. Take the square of both sides. Now, do you know why I'm taking the square of both sides? Because square can cancel square root and square root can cancel square. All right? Just like cube root can cancel cube and cube can cancel cube root. When we get to that, we'll see that. But now we are on square root. So square can cancel square root. So what does it become? It becomes P squared, all right, is equal to what? Square root of RS to the power of 3 over T all squared. Now, we're going to have what? Now, this is P squared is equal to, now, like I said, square is going to cancel square roots. All right? So you're going to be left with RS to the power of 3 over T. All right? Now, this, of course, from here now, I can just put over 1 here and then cross multiply. P squared over 1 is still P squared. I can now cross multiply. So if I cross multiply, that becomes what? Cross multiply. It becomes RS to the power of 3 times 1 gives us RS to the power of 3 is equal to P squared times T gives us P squared T. Why am I putting P squared before T? Because alphabetically P comes before T. Now let's continue. Now you have RS to the power of 3 is equal to P squared T. Now, how do you finally make R the subject of formula? What is obstructing R from standing alone? S to the power of 3. So simply divide both sides by S to the power of 3. So divide both sides by S to the power of 3. So it becomes RS to the power of 3 over S to the power of 3 is equal to P squared T over S to the power of 3. Now this takes this away here. Then you have R is equal to what? P squared T over S to the power of 3. So this is going to be our answer. All right, that's going to be our answer. So which of these options has this? That's actually option A. So option A is our answer. Given that M is equal to square root N square root of SL over T, make T the subject of formula. Given that M is equal to N square root of SL over T, make T the subject of formula. Now, where is T? T is here, and you want to make it the subject of formula. It's under this cap, and you have to take that cap. You have to evacuate that cap, which is the square root, from this so that you can deal with T. Now, how do we do that? Now, we're going to, like I said, square can cancel square root and square root can cancel square. So we're going to take the squares of both sides, all right? So take the square of both sides. Take the square of both sides. Take the square of both sides. So when you do that, you're going to have what? You have M is equal to N square root of SL over T. When you take the square of both sides, taking M squared now and then squaring this. Now, this is M squared is equal to, now, this square affects N and affects all this. Now, this square is going to affect N because N is not under the square root. N, there's no square root of N, all right? The square root does not affect N. So the square affects N and then it becomes N squared, all right? But the square is going to affect these guys, all right, and cancel the square roots. The square only affected N and you have N squared. But the square is going to affect these guys and cancel the square root. Then you're going to have multiplied by, this dot product is multiplication, multiplied by SL over T. Now let's continue. So M squared is equal to what? N squared times SL gives us what? Now L comes before N, so you write what? Okay, yeah, let's write N squared, then N squared multiplied by SL gives us N squared SL over T. All right. Now you can put over 1 here and what? Cross multiply. All right, cross multiply. This multiplies this, this multiplies this. Now, your goal is to make t the subject of formula, so focus more on t. So m squared times t now gives us what? M squared t is equal to n squared SL multiplied by 1 gives us the same n squared SL. Alright? Now, what is obstructing you from finding t, from making t the subject of formula? M squared. Simply divide both sides by m squared. Divide both sides by m squared. By m squared. So that becomes what? It becomes what? M squared t over m squared is equal to n squared SL over m squared. So you notice that what? M squared takes away m squared, and then we're left with what? T is equal to n squared SL over m squared. All right? So we make t the subject of formula from here. So making t the subject of formula, you have this. So which of the options fall into this? Which of these options? All right. Option B. Option B. So option B is correct. If f is equal to 1 over 2l square root of t over m, express m in terms of f, l, and t. Meaning you have to make m the subject of formula. Now, you are given what? What are you giving? You are giving that f is equal to 1 over 2l square root of t over m. 1 over 2l square root of t over m. Now, you want to make m the subject of the formula. But this cap, which is the square root, is covering your m. So what do? I said square can cancel square root. So it becomes that we take the square of both sides. You simply take the square of both sides. Now, before we continue, you must have been watching this video and enjoying this video and learning. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it, and feel free to make a comment in the comment section. All right, so that the algorithm could reach others that have issues with this too. And don't forget, share this video, like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification button. It will not hurt you. Just if you hit the notification button, it will not hurt you. Just hit it. Thank you. Now let's continue. So we take the square of both sides. We take the square of both sides. So what does that become? It becomes what? F squared is equal to what? 1 over 2l square root of t over m all squared. Now, so it becomes what? It becomes that we have f squared is equal to, now this square affects, now watch closely. This 1 over 2l, they are not under this squared. And they are not under this square root. All right, they are not under this square root. So this square is going to affect 1 over 2l. It's just going to cancel this square root from t over n. So the square is going to affect 1 over 2l. It becomes what? You have what? 1 over 2l all squared multiplied by, now this square cancel the square root. So you'll be left with t over m multiplied by t over m. This is dot product, which means multiplication. Anytime you see me write this. Now, so f squared is going to be equal to, this squared is going to affect 1. 1 squared gives you 1. This squared is going to affect 2l. Now, 2 squared, when the square affects, it does not mean 2 times 2, it means 2 times 2 in 2 places. All right, when you say 2 squared, so that's going to be over 4. Now, the square is going to affect l too. That will be l squared multiplied by what? T over m. So you are going to have what? F squared is equal to what? 1 times t gives you t over 4l squared times m gives us what? 4l squared m. All right, 4l squared m. Now, don't forget, you want to make m the subject of formula. So what can you do? This is where m is. Now, you can just put over 1 here and then what? Cross multiply. All right, you should have taken note of these techniques now, that we cross multiply, we factorize, and the rest, we take this to the other side, we take the squares of both sides or the square root of both sides. So in this case, we're going to cross multiply. All right, so when we cross multiply, that becomes what? 4l squared times 4l squared m times f squared. That gives us what? 4l, okay, f comes before l, so f squared, 4f squared, because alphabetically f comes before l, so that will be 4f squared L squared, because L comes before M, then M is equal to, now T times 1 of course gives us what? T. Now our goal is to make M the subject of formula. So we have to divide both sides by everything obstructing M from not standing alone. That's becoming the subject of formula, which is 4F squared and L squared. So divide both sides. Divide both sides by 4F squared L squared. So when you do that, that becomes what? 4F squared L squared M over 4F squared L squared is equal to T over 4F squared L squared. Now you notice that what? Notice that this takes this away. So you have your final answer to be M is equal to what? T over 4F squared L squared. Alright. So making M the sort of formula, this is what you're going to have. So which of these options fall into this? We have, okay, option D. Option D is the correct answer. So when you make M the sort of formula from this, you're going to have T over 4F squared L squared. Now, if you have any question, you can make a comment in the comment section. If you have any question, I'll do well to give you an answer. Make Q the subject of formula if P is equal to M over 5 into bracket X plus Q plus 1. I want to make Q the subject of formula from this. Now, this is where Q is, alright? I want you to know that this M over 5 into bracket X plus Q can also be written as P is equal to what? It can also be written as M into bracket X plus Q over 5, all over 5, because this is over 5 here, so it affects all of this as a denominator to all of this, plus 1. Now, this plus 1 is separate, right? Just take it to this side, all right? Take your plus 1 to this side. Don't forget, I want to make Q the subject formula. Take your plus 1 to this side. It becomes what? That you have P minus 1 is equal to M into bracket X plus Q over 5. Can you see it? Can you see it now? So what we're going to do next is that we're going to cross multiply. So this is over 1. So we're going to cross multiply. This is where your Q is. So M into bracket S plus Q times 1. Alright? M into bracket S plus Q times 1 will give us M into bracket X plus Q is equal to, now 5 multiplied by P minus 1. That will be 5 into bracket P minus 1, because 5 will multiply P and also multiply minus 1. So now open this bracket, open this bracket. So this becomes mx, when you open that, m times x, mx, m times q plus mq is equal to 5 times p, 5p, 5 times minus 1, minus 5. Can you see it? Now this is where your q is. This is your target. This is your target. This is your only target. Alright, which is making Q the solvable formula. So take any other thing that is not aligning with making Q the solvable formula to the other side. So take mx to this side. It becomes that what? Mq will be equal to what? Taking this to this side, you're going to have what? 5p. Now let mx come next before the minus 5. 5p was already here. So take plus mx here, it becomes minus mx. That's when it crosses the equal to sign. Alright. Now, then you have your minus 5. Can you see it? Now, you have MQ now. The only thing obstructing Q from standing alone now is M. So you have to divide both sides by M. So divide both sides by M. Divide both sides by M. By M. So if you divide both sides by M, this becomes what? MQ over M is equal to what? 5p minus mx minus 5 over m. So of course, m takes away m here, and then you're left with what? Q is equal to what? 5p minus mx minus 5 over m. Over m. So this is going to be our final answer. When you make Q the solvable formula, this is what you're going to have. Now, which of these options fall into this? That should be option D. Option D, all right, is the correct answer. So when you make Q the subject of formula from this, we're going to have this. In the relation x over square root of 3 is equal to square root of z over z plus y. Express z in terms of x and y, meaning you have to make z the subject of formula. You might look at this question that There's Z here and there's Z here. How do you want me to make Z the sort formula? It's possible. Now, let's go to business. Now, this is square roots covering the Z that you want to make the sort formula, which is like a cap, and you have to take away this cap. All right. So what do? You take the square of both sides to take away that cap there. Like I said, square cancels square root and square root cancels square. Now, so you take the squares of both sides. So it becomes square of x over root 3. Square of x over root 3 is equal to, you square this side too. So you're going to have z over z plus y all squared. Now, this square is going to affect x here. It becomes x squared. But this square is going to cancel this square. It's affecting up and down. It's affecting the numerator and the denominator. So this square is going to affect this. It becomes x squared. This square is going to affect this with 3. It cancels this. So you have over 3 is equal to. Now, of course, this square too takes away this square root. So you have z over z plus y. Alright? Now, from here, don't forget, you want to make z the soluble formula. You can what? Cross multiply. Cross multiply. Alright? Cross multiply. Now, watch closely. This will be x squared times z plus y. So you have x squared into brackets z plus y. That is multiplying z and y is equal to z times 3 gives us 3z. Alright? I did not say 3z. At that time they were saying Z1, Z2, Z. I think I said Z, or some people call it Z. Let's continue. Now, so this will be x squared times Z. That will be what? X and Z. Which ones comes before? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, X, Y, Z. Okay. Oh, X comes before Z. Okay, so x squared times Z. That will be x squared Z. You know me, I did not go to primary school, so let's just continue. So that will be plus x squared times y. That gives us x squared y is equal to 3z. Not 3z, 3z or 3z. Anyone that not go to primary school, I know it as z. Now let's continue. So now, this is x squared z plus x squared y is equal to 3z. Bring all your z to one side. Everything that has z, bring it to one side. And take anything that does not have z to the other side. So this is already x squared z. It has z. It's z term here. That'll be x squared z. Right? Take this 3z to this side. It is positive here. When you cross here, it becomes minus 3z is equal to. This was positive here. When you cross here, it becomes minus x squared y. Alright? Now if you notice, z is common between this and this. So take your z out. You're going to be left with x squared minus 3 is equal to what? Minus x squared y. Now, you divide both sides by x squared minus 3, alright? You divide both sides by what? X squared minus 3. Because now, that's the only thing obstructing you from finding z from here. You can see we just factorize z, so we divide both sides by x squared minus 3 so that we can make z stand alone. So divide both sides by x squared minus 3. So that becomes z into x squared minus 3 over x squared minus 3 is equal to minus x squared y over x squared minus 3. So that becomes that this takes this away. So you have z alone to be equal to what? Minus x squared y over what? X squared minus 3. So this is going to be our subject of formula as making z the subject of formula. So which of these options has this? Which of these options has this? None of these options, but look at now, see what I can do, or see what you can do. This, look at the options, all right? Look at the options very well. Look at this. Now, you have x squared y up, you have x squared minus 3, and there's a minus here. Now, this is looking like this, but the only thing, you have 3 minus x squared, but here you have x squared minus 3. Here, the minus is in front of x squared, and the 3 is positive. But here, the 3 is negative, and the x squared is positive. See what you can do. Watch what I'm going to do. I can write this as z is equal to minus x squared y over put a minus outside this bracket. Now, manipulate this now to now have the minus x squared, and this to now have plus 3. Now, before we continue, if you notice, minus times minus, it still give you the plus x squared, positive x squared. Minus times plus here, still give you the minus 3. But you're trying to do something. Now, you will notice that what? This minus takes away this minus from here. Now, do you know I can also write this as z is equal to the same x squared y over. Now, bring this 3 in front. You have plus 3. And then bring this minus x squared behind. You have minus x squared. So, this looks like what? This. So, option D is our answer. So, these techniques are very important. You might solve and be like, I solve and I'm not seeing my answer in the option. Check again. Your answer is in the option. Check again. So this is going to be our answer. X squared over 3 minus x squared is your answer when you make Z the Solow formula from this expression or from this equation. Make R the Solow formula if C is equal to KR squared plus M over 3. You're giving your options. Our goal is to make R the Solow formula from this. Now, you are given that C is equal to KR squared plus M over 3. Now, your goal is to make R a formula here. So this is, you can just put over 1 here and then cross multiply. KR squared plus M times 1, of course, still gives us KR squared plus M is equal to C times 3, that gives us 3T. Alright? Now, take plus M to this side, it becomes KR squared is equal to 3T minus M. Yes, because you are trying to make R squared a solvable formula, you have to take away everything or evacuate everything that will not make R stand alone. So take plus M to this side becomes minus M. Now, from here, what is making, what is another thing obstructing R? K, all right? So we can divide both sides by K. Divide both sides by K. By what? By K. So when you do that, that becomes KR squared over K is equal to what? 3T minus M over K. So what are you going to have? You're going to have that what? K takes away K. And then you're going to be left with what? R squared is equal to what? 3T minus M over K. Your goal is to make R the Solow formula, not R squared. So you take the square root of both sides because square root can cancel square. Alright? So you take the square root of both sides. Take the square roots of both sides. So that becomes what? It becomes square root of R squared is equal to square root of 3T minus M over K. So you notice that square takes away square root here. You're going to be left with R is equal to square root of what? 3T minus M over K. So this is what will be your this is when you make R a separate formula from this will be your subject or formula. So which of these options has this in it? That is option C. Option C. So option C is our correct answer. So this is our subject of formula when you make R a separate formula from this. Make Q the subject of the formula when L is equal to 4M over 3 square root of PQ. Your goal is to make Q the subject of formula. So I want you to know that you can also write that expression as L is equal to, this 3 affect all of these as a denominator. So it becomes L is equal to 4M square root of PQ over 3. Alright? Now, this is over 1. Alright? You can just put over 1, L over 1. Then the next thing is to what? Cross multiply. Fm square root of PQ times 1 gives us what? Oh, sorry, 4M square root of PQ times 1 gives us 4M what? Square root of PQ is equal to L times 3 gives us 3L. Alright? Now, what we can do, let's evacuate this 4M from here. So let's divide both sides. Divide both sides. Let's divide both sides by 4M. So when we do that, what happens? It becomes 4M square root of PQ over 4M is equal to 3L over 4M. So we're going to have it that what 4m takes away 4m, and then we're going to be left with square root of PQ is equal to 3L over 4m. 3L over 4m. Now, the next thing you can do is take the square of both sides, because this cap is covering your Q that you want to make the solve formula. Alright? Take the square of both sides. So when we take the square of both sides, it becomes square root of PQ all squared is equal to square of 3L over 4m all squared. Now, of course, this square takes away this square root. So you're going to have what? PQ is equal to. Now, this square is affecting 3, affecting L over, affecting also the denominator 4m. So now, this square affects 3. That's 3 squared. 3 squared does not mean 2 times 3. Alright? That does not mean 2 times 3. This is very, very, very wrong. 3 squared means what? 3 times 3, which is very, very, very correct. Alright? So the square affects the 3. The square affects the 3. We're going to have what? 9, because that's 3 times 3. The square affects L. We have L squared. Alright? And then the square affects 4. We have what? 4 times 4. That's 16. The square affects M. Then we have M squared. Alright? Now, you can say this is over 1. Alright? This is what? Over 1. We can cross multiply. Alright? But instead of doing that and making the process long for ourselves, we can multiply both sides by 1 over p. We can multiply both sides by 1 over p. That's the inverse of p. Because if you multiply both sides by 1 over p, you'll notice that p will not cancel p here. Then it comes to this side. Then you now have your q standing alone. So we can multiply both sides by 1 over p. You must come out with techniques that will make your work faster and easier, because you don't have time. You need to be very, very fast and accurate. Because let me tell you the truth, JAMB is speed and accuracy. Speed and accuracy. Not just being fast, but getting the right answer. Hitting the nail on the head. Alright? So multiply both sides by 1 over p. So when you do that, you notice that this becomes 1 over p multiplied by pq is equal to 1 over p multiplied by what? 9l squared over 16m squared. Now when you do that, you notice that, like I said, p cancels p here, and then you're left with what? Q is equal to 1 times 9l squared gives you 9l squared over p times this gives you what? Gives you what? 16m squared p. Alright? So when you make Q the solvable formula, this is what you are going to have. 9l squared over 16m squared p. So which of these options correlates with this? That is option A. So option A is our answer. 9l squared over 16m squared p. If t is equal to 2 pi square root L over g, make g the subject of the formula. Want to make g the subject of the formula here? Of course, you have t is equal to 2 pi square root of L over g. Now, where your g is, alright, there's a cap, which is this square root. So we have to take the square of both sides. So let's take the square of both sides. It becomes t squared is equal to 2 pi square root L over g all squared. Now this becomes t squared is equal to, of course, this squared affects 2 pi. So 2 squared becomes 4. Square affects pi, you have pi squared. Now, of course, this square takes away the square root. So you multiply by what? L over g. Now, we're going to have what? T squared is equal to 4 pi squared times L gives us 4 pi squared L. 4 pi squared L over g as your denominator, because this is over g. Now, your goal is to make g the subject formula, right? So this is, let's just say, over 1. T squared over 1 is tt. Cross multiply. Alright, so g, your focus is on g. G times t squared gives us what? Gt squared is equal to 4 pi squared L times 1 gives us 4 pi squared L. Alright, so now we divide both sides by what? We divide both sides by t squared, because t squared is the only thing obstructing you from finding g. That's making g the solvable formula. So divide both sides by t squared. So it becomes gt squared over t squared is equal to 4 pi squared L over t squared. So what are we going to have left? Now this takes this away. We are going to be left with g is equal to what? 4 pi squared L over t squared. So that's going to be our answer. So when you make g the subject of formula, you have this, and that correlates with option D. So option D is our answer. Make x the subject of formula of the equation in 4x minus 5 is equal to 3y over 4x plus 5. Now, of course, you are seeing 5x and x here. You're like, how do I make x the subject of formula when there's an x here and there's an x here? Now, do not be afraid. We're going to do just that. It's very easy. Now, of course, you are given 4x minus 5 is equal to 3y over 4x plus 5. Now this is over 1. You can cross multiply. So this is going to multiply this. Our focus is on x. So it becomes 4x minus 5 multiplied by 4x plus 5 is equal to 3y times 1 gives us 3y. Now, listen very carefully. This, anytime you see this and this is 4x minus 5, this is 4x plus 5. The difference is this is minus and this is plus. This is called difference of two squares. Anytime you have something like this, x minus y multiplied by x plus y, or even though you bring the x plus y first before the x minus y, they are surely going to give you x squared minus y squared, and the same thing here, x squared minus y squared. Now, this is referred to as what? They are referred to as difference of two squares. Difference of two squares. Please take note of this. Difference of two squares. This makes your work easier, all right? Because you don't have to be opening this times this, this times this. I'm doing those primary school methods. Even a primary school student might even be able to do this easily, all right? I was just joking, all right? But this is difference of two squares. Anytime you see this, you can factorize this into this. So you are seeing minus and I seeing plus, and I seeing the same term, 4x5, 4x5. This is just minus, this is plus. You can bring them together as a difference of two squares. All right. So we're going to apply this. Please write this down. Write it down and take note of it. All right. So now let's go straight to using that principle for this question so that we make our answer easy. Now, having that knowledge, it can be, this becomes what? 4x all squared minus 5 squared. Can you see what I did now? 4x all squared minus 5 squared, that's difference of two squares, is equal to 3y. Now let's continue. Now, 4x all squared means you take 4 squared, the square affects 4, that's 4 squared, that's 4 times 4, that's 16. The square also affects x, that's x squared minus 5 squared means 5 times 5, not 5 times 2, all right? That's going to give you what? 25. 5 times 5 is 25. It's equal to what? 3y, all right? Now, take minus 25 to this side because your goal is x squared, right? So this becomes 16x squared is equal to what? 3y plus 25, all right? 3y plus 25. Now, the only thing obstructing x here is 16. So let's divide both sides by 16. Divide both sides by 16. Both sides by 16. So it becomes 16x squared over 16 is equal to 3y plus 25 over 16. All right. So you notice that what? 16 takes away 16, and then you have what? X squared is equal to what? 3y plus 25 over 16. Now, you were not asked to make x the subject. So you were not asked to make x squared the subject. You were asked to make x. So what do? You take the square root of both sides. All right. So when you do that, what do you have? You take the square root of both sides. It becomes square root of x squared is equal to square root. Now, of course, you introduce your plus or minus because even in the option, you can see plus or minus. That's going to be 3y plus 25 over 16. Now, the square cancels this square root here. You have x is equal to plus or minus. Now, I want you to know something. You can't split this into square root of 3y plus square root of 25. It's impossible. All right? Do you know why? Because what God has joined together, let no man. Let no man put asunder. All right. So you can't split this like this. The square root remains. So because 3y and 25 are married together by the positive sign, which is plus, all right, or the addition sign, they remain like that. So this still remains square root of 3y plus 25. But the denominator is just 16 and it's single. It's alone. It's single. So you can take the square root of 16. All right. These guys, they are married. This one is still single. He's single and he's not searching like me. So let's continue. Now, this becomes square root of 3y plus 25 over square root of 16 is 4. So the square root can affect 16 because 16 is a single guy. That's over 4. So your answer is what? X is equal to plus or minus square root of 3y plus 25 over 4, which is option what? That's option what? Option what? Option what? Option what? Option C. Option C. So option C is our correct answer. All right. All right. Now let's solve this question. Now this question will be a little bit let me not say complex, but technical. All right. But it's very simple. Very, very simple. So we have s is equal to square root of t squared minus 4t plus 4. And we have to find t in terms of s. That's we have to make t the Sawyer formula. Now you can see that this square root is covering your t terms. So you have to take the square of both sides. So take the square of both sides becomes s squared is equal to into square root of t squared minus 4t plus 4 all squared. Now, this is going to be s squared is equal to square root cancels the square root. The square cancels the square root. You have what? T squared minus 4t plus 4. All right? T squared minus 4t plus 4. Now, watch. If s squared is equal to t squared minus 4t plus 4, t squared minus 4t plus 4 is also equal to s squared. That means if left hand side is equal to right hand side is also equal to left hand side. So if s squared is equal to t squared minus 4t plus 4, t squared minus 40 plus 4 is also equal to s squared. Now, of course, this is going to lead us to a quadratic equation. Yes, it's going to lead us to a quadratic equation. So take s squared to this side. It becomes t squared minus 4t plus 4 minus s squared is equal to, you've taken s squared to this side, so nothing is going to be here again. That's 0. You already have a quadratic equation. Now, don't forget, your quadratic equation is given in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the form in which your quadratic equation is given to you. And if you compare this with this, let's compare this with this. All right, let's compare these two. You find out that your a is equal to, that's the coefficient of your t squared. Just like this a here, that's the coefficient of your x squared is equal to 1. And then b, the coefficient of your t here is the coefficient of your b is the coefficient of your x here. Comparing, you find out that your b is equal to minus 4. This t squared now is like this s squared, and this t now is like this x. Why this 4 minus s squared is this constant? So your b is here is minus 4, and then your constant is 4 minus s squared. 4 minus s squared. All right. So we have our a, b, and c. Why are we writing our a, b, and c? Because we're going to use the formula method to solve or to make t the subject of formula, or to find t as the subject of formula. All right. That's what we're going to do. Now, what is the formula method? Some people usually call this almighty formula. Please, no formula is almighty. Only God is almighty. All right. So, let's do a recap. What's the formula method? What's the formula? Formula method. You have what? Trying to manage the space. You have what? Now, in this case, we are dealing with what? T. So we have it that t is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Because this time we're looking for t, not x. All right. So this is the formula method, minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So now let's get to work. It becomes that t is equal to minus b. That's going to be minus into bracket minus 4 plus or minus square root of b squared. That is minus 4 squared minus 4ac. That's 4 times a which is what? 1 multiplied by c. What is your c? Your c is 4 minus s squared. 4 minus s squared, all right? All over 2a, that's 2 into bracket what? A, which is what? 1, all right? Which is 1. Now, t is going to be equal to minus times minus gives us 4 plus or minus square root of minus 4 squared means minus 4 times minus 4. Minus 4 times minus 4. Minus times minus is plus, positive. 4 times 4, 16. So that's plus 16. So this is going to be 16, all right? Now, this is minus 4 times 1, all right? Minus 4. Now, minus 4 times 4 gives us what? Minus 16. Minus 4 times minus s squared gives us plus 4s squared. All right, because minus times minus is plus, then 4 times s squared, 4s squared. All over 2 times 1 gives us what? 2. All right, 2 times 1 gives us what? 2. Now, so this is going to be what? C is equal to 4 plus or minus square root of course, 16 plus 16 takes away minus 16, meaning that they cancel out. Plus something minus the same thing goes out. So we're going to be left with what? 4s squared over 2. All right? So this is going to be t is equal to 4 plus or minus. Now, square root, this square root is affecting 4 and affecting x squared. Square root of 4 gives us 2. All right? Now, this square root affects this square. You're going to have s over what? 2. All right? So now let's continue so we can get our final answer. So this becomes, you will now have it that this, don't forget this plus or minus, meaning that you must get two answers. So you have c is equal to 4 plus 2s over 2, or c is equal to 4 minus 2s over 2. Do you see it now? Now I can split this into c is equal to 4 over 2 plus 2s over 2. Yes, when you have a plus b over c, and what is the denominator is a single thing, it becomes a over c plus b over c. You can split this like this. That's what we are applying here. All right. So now let's continue. So it becomes, or c is equal to 4 over 2 minus 2s over 2. All right. So that this becomes t is equal to 4 divided by 2, 2 plus 2 here. That gives us 2 takes away 2 here. You're left with s, or t is equal to 4 divided by 2, 2 minus 2 cancel 2 here. You have what? S. So now I want you to know that you can also write this as what? C is equal to 2 plus s can also be written as s plus 2, or c is equal to 2 minus s. Now, of course, which of these do you see in your options? You see what? S plus 2. 2 minus s is different from s minus 2. So don't go and pick s minus 2 as your answer. All right? The negative here is in front of s, but the negative here is in front of 2. So they are two different things. All right? So s plus 2 is going to be our answer. All right? This is the one we are going to take as our answer. So if you make t the shadow formula here, you're going to have s plus 2. All right? Now, I know maybe when you saw this question, you never knew you were going to use formula method. So this is going to be our answer. All right? This is our answer. Now, that will be all for this SMASH JAMB series. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification button, share this video, like this video. Feel free to make a comment in the comment section. Any question that you have, feel free to make a comment in the comment section. I'll do it to give you an answer. All right? So make sure you share this video. I love you all, and till next time.